Hello again, everyone. It's me, your petty friend Kevin, and
Nicolette.
And we are here for episode 2 of the Your Petty Friend podcast. How are you? What's going on?
I have a little bit of a cold.
Yeah, I know. We had to cancel last week because she called me, and immediately her voice was different, and she goes, "I'm sick," and I was like, "Do not bring your ass over here. I will not. I can't get sick. I don't want a cold."
I was quarantined. It wasn't COVID, but...
Can you hear Teddy drinking water in the background?
Probably. Yeah.
Are you done there, buddy?
Teddy.
Come here. Come on. There you go. My little boy. Come say hi. This is Teddy, everybody. You can't see him, can you? Oh, you can't see him. Okay. So, you feel better.
I do.
You're not sick.
Yeah.
Your voice is still like a little deep.
My voice is, it's still adjusting, but it's almost there.
You sound deeper than me.
I know. Okay. I have a deep voice for a girl.
Yeah, you do.
Just,
like getting sick is nothing.
Yeah, I'm just going to sound more like a man. It's totally fine.
Yeah, so today we want to start today off with Black Cat energy, which is kind of perfect for the both of us.
Yeah.
We are definitely black cats, but we're different black cats.
We are. I think, like, my black cat is a little bit more adventurous in the sense that I like to leave my house, but I like to leave my house.
That was Reed.
Huh?
That's her talking shit about me. Oh,
no,
go on.
No, I'm just saying you're a little bit more like
buddy.
You like
I know.
You go to like the same places. You like your routine. You like the comfort zones.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Go on.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, how would you describe your black cat energy?
So much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love spontaneity. I do things at a whim. I'll go out last minute.
Yeah, I don't.
These are all lies. I don't do any of that.
I was gonna say, I'm like.
No. I sit my ass at home with my little dog, and watch things on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's a Trader Joe's at the bottom of my apartment, so that makes it super convenient to not do anything or not go far for groceries. And funny enough, next to that Trader Joe's is a restaurant with a bar.
Mm-hmm, which we go to
often,
regularly.
Yeah. So often that Janina, who also lives in my building, we're friends, said we should get them a Christmas gift because we're always there. And I was like, that is a good idea. You know what, Janina? That is a good idea. She's like, they treat us so well. And I was like, they absolutely do. They really do. But I'm trying to get out of it. The black cat thing. I know it's a struggle. It's one of my resolutions. I'm working on it to try to go and do more things that I don't normally go do. Yeah. So that's fair. But Nicolette is great at trying new things, going to events, meeting new people, and really putting herself out there. And it's something that I struggle to do. And I'm like, I will be that one person that's like, what do you mean? I meet new people all the time. No, I don't do that.
I think for me, it's just, I made that was like my resolution at the beginning of this year, was just to meet new people, because I was pretty much in that same pattern of just staying home or going to the same places. But I like to go to do a lot of, I don't know, I just have a lot of different hobbies, a lot of different interests, and that's kind of
hobbying.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not a black cat thing, that's more of an ADD thing.
Fair, but that's helpful.
Yeah,
right?
It's just how it's just how I function. Like, I kind of go insane if I have too much of the same monotonous thing. So I have to, pick up different hobbies, and just by doing that, I'll meet different people. And I don't know, even though I do all of these things, I still don't feel like I have this really vast network of friends. Like, I know a lot of people, but more on the acquaintance level, and I'll go to these things and see them, but I won't see them outside of those events, really.
Right.
So I'm trying to work on that part. I'm trying to make
deepening. Yeah,
deepening connections, because once I'm over the ADHD hobby, I'll never see those people again.
But you've been, so she started surfing.
Yeah, that's
your newest hobby.
That's my newest hobby.
You've stuck with that for quite some time.
Yeah, and that's the one that's I've been more social in, but I wouldn't even say I'm even that social in that either.
Well, you
I just
surf by yourself. I mean,
yeah, well, surfing is like a solo activity.
Ew. Go
on. Surfing is a solo activity, and it's kind of, you know, you have to be very like self-motivated. But you know, one of the things that I did was volleyball, and that's a team sport, and I felt like I got to know those guys so much quicker in such a short
all
amount.
For one for all.
Yeah, it's like it was, and they were super sweet. It was like a, you know, co-ed queer league, and it was 95% men, so I was the only girl.
No
I was the only girl on the team, but they'd never played volleyball before, and some of them were like returning, and they were all very sweet, and they like would help me practice whenever I needed help practicing on something, and they were really like supportive of me trying to learn things.
Right.
And so I just felt like, you know, the only girl on this all boys team, and I got to hang out with, you know, gay men in that capacity, and I learned a lot.
I'm sure you learned about things you didn't need to learn about.
I just like the text thread was very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not like big on like group chats to begin with, but they would just kind of like go off, and
they really, yeah, gays and group chats really go off the deep end.
Oh yeah, and I was just watching it, and I'm just like, this is fun.
I mute all of my group chats. The second I am in a group chat, I mute every single one of them.
I didn't mute them, but there was this one. I went to a funeral, and then I could hear. A gay funeral? No, not a gay funeral, but it was like a family friend who died, and so I had my phone on like do not disturb, and then as soon as I took it off, I just see like 30 text messages from this thread, yeah, going off.
Your phone is on fire.
It just made me laugh so hard, and it was just such a switch from like this this sad thing, and I'm just like, my phone is like going off, and I'm like laughing, and so it was really fun. So I really enjoyed them. But yeah, like most of my hobbies are like solo
but it's
hobbies.
good that you do them.
Yeah.
It's something I tell her all the time. I tell you all the time. I'm like, I'm always so proud of you to put yourself in these situations. I just don't do that, and I think as I get older, I don't want to, but I know that I need to just keep growing myself and my lovely personality. You know what I mean? I've tried, especially this month. I went to a few different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be more active during the week in terms of not just coming home from work, cooking dinner, or like going to the gym, cooking dinner, and going to sleep. And then there's this one. It's because I rubbed him down with coconut oil yesterday. That's what he's eating. Oh. It's so nasty, Teddy. We get it. Yeah. We get it.
I'm gonna hold you like this.
Yeah. His skin has been a little flaky, so I use coconut oil to help him moisten his skin. But with that, so we're both Cancers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an early Cancer. You're later in July.
No.
Wait.
No, it's the other way.
No, it's the other way.
I'm the early.
You're the early one. You're in June.
Yeah.
And I'm in July.
Yeah.
So I feel you're more Cancerian than I am.
Yeah, I am.
But at the same time, I feel like I'm super Cancerian. But when people first meet me, they off the bat, you could not tell that I was a Cancer.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of come off. It depends on who you're with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New people, no Cancerian whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'll swing.
For me, I'm just like, I'm like the creative, you know, sensitive.
Like very introverted.
Very introverted.
Yeah. You're in your head, you're in your thoughts, you're thinking and like dreaming a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely in my own world a lot. And I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable with that. I don't need to be the center of attention. That actually like stresses me out a lot if I have too much attention.
Same.
And I just, you know, I've never really been good about putting myself out there, but like my line of work, like being a freelancer, like I kind of have to be, and that's one part of my personality I've always kind of struggled with. But you know, it is what it is, and working on it. And anytime someone says, shit about cancers, I note it and I just kind of like, well, I'm not gonna be friends with you.
We're not crying all the time. That's like the biggest misleading thing people say about cancer is you're always crying. No, I'm emotional. I'm not always crying. It takes a lot for me to shed a tear about something.
I'm more quick to cry. I do think it's like, a way I process my emotions, sure. But I don't necessarily, there's been times where like I will cry a lot, but it's because I'm going through something. But when I'm like when I'm not like, when life's just kind of okay or whatever, I don't, I can be like straight up cold to a lot of people too.
Yeah.
And I don't.
I think that's my go-to. It's not being cold. I'm just very reserved around new people.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to explain it. I guess that's when I get into my shell.
Yeah. It takes me a long time to open up to people.
Yeah.
So.
Me too. I'm working on it. Okay, you guys. I'm trying.
Same.
I'm trying. It's not going that well, but it's on the top of my New Year's resolutions for next year.
Yeah. It's on my list too of trying to get better about it and trying to, just show that I'm not shy. I'm just kind of quiet and I'm more observant.
Same.
I will, watch people and I will kind of assess them from my own inner world, my own inner monologue before I really interact with people.
Yeah. And
then a lot of people will come up to me and I will, do my best to. I'm bad at the small talk thing. Like I'm not the best at that part.
At the talking about nothing.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, you're just like, how was your day? What did you do? Oh, the sky, look, it's blue. Oh my, I love your shoes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like that's what you're supposed to talk about, but in my head, I'm thinking about like what I'm working on, what the other things that I'm doing, the things that I'm like picking up from other people.
There's not a purpose behind it.
Yeah, and so I struggle with small talk with a lot of networking type situations because it's like, I don't know, it's just not fun for me, and it's just annoying.
I get stressed out.
Yeah, I think that's the part where I struggle with is like not being annoyed with like normal human behavior and normal human expectations. I'm quick to get annoyed, and I'm working on that.
I get that. I do not cry often.
No,
I am emotional.
I think I've seen you cry maybe twice.
Yeah, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You see me cry all the time.
Yeah.
It's fine. Because I'm very comfortable with you.
Yeah.
But if
I had to cry, I would call you. I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a call and cry. I'll just cry by myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't need to be on the phone. But like sometimes I will if it's to that point.
Yeah.
Like I'll call my sisters crying. That's happened for sure.
Yeah.
And the second it happens with Natalie, my oldest sister, I'll need to cry or I know that I'm gonna cry, and the second she says hello, I can't even speak because I'm crying so hard.
Aww.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you're just like.
Yeah.
She's like, what's wrong? It's like, hold on. Let me catch my breath. Yeah, you have no idea what's going on, and I'm just crying on the phone. That does happen. But yeah, I like cancers. Okay, stop giving us a bad rap.
I do too. I think I have a lot of like cancer friends, and men and women, and I don't fully like. Look, we're in LA. We kind of have to know the astrology stuff because there's some people.
Because it's all we talk about.
Yeah, there's some people
What's
that
your
are
sign?
super
Like a
into
stop
it.
sign. Can you fuck off?
Yeah. There's some people that are super into it, and
now what's your rising?
Yeah, that's the part.
Oh God.
I know all that stuff now, but it's because I was pretty much forced to find out, and it just feels.
What time were you born? Where were you born?
Culty to me, and I don't do well with that sort
But
of
that's
thing.
good small talk. Oh, how annoying!
It's good small talk.
Oh.
Do you know your big three?
No, I don't even know what that means.
So the big.
What are the big three? I thought it was like Price Waterhouse Cooper.
So your sun, moon, and your rising. It's
No.
like whatever the signs are during
No.
that time. And mine are mine make me sound very crazy, so I don't like to tell people because it's just like I have like all three of them are just it's like an interesting combination. I always get an interesting reaction.
Why are people scared of you after they know what you are?
If they really follow
psychopath?
If they really follow it, they're kind of like, oh, interesting. You know what I mean?
You're like,
it's
never talking to her again.
Oh, I know. And so it's just, it's frustrating, especially if you're trying to like, you know,
I should,
yeah,
maybe I should look into mine. So I know my friend knows mine, and I always ask her what it is because she knows and I don't. I just know I'm a Cancer. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But that's Cancer.
It's a very Cancer thing to say.
So I grew up in LA.
Yeah.
Nicolette did not. She grew up in Orange County.
I grew up in Orange County.
Which explains a lot. Explains more than the Cancer.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Orange County. I'm Mexican. I come from a big Mexican family, but pretty much everybody that I was around up until, like, I lived in LA until I was 7 and then moved to Orange County. And I was, like, immediately behind because the school system in LA wasn't that great. And I went to Orange County.
Where it's better?
Where it's better. I went to a distinguished school, which is, like...
An elevated...
It's still public school, but it's like an elevated public school.
Right.
And so all three of my schools, elementary, middle school, and high school, were distinguished schools in California and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so like education-wise, like I had a great education. But it was, you know, a lot of white people, a lot of like, you know,
way.
Yeah. I was not very open about how, like, my Mexican background because it didn't benefit me.
The narrative of Orange County.
Yeah, and it was a very much like a situation where I'm white passing, I'm white presenting, and I wasn't trying to, you know...
Fuck that up.
Yeah, I was just trying to survive and make friends.
Like adapt and like
fit
in.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't like... trying to do all that, and you know the things that I ended up being interested in were just a result of that, you know, that environment and that sort of thing. So I never really thought about it too much until I went to college, and I went to Cal State Fullerton, which is definitely a more
Latin school, no? Or no?
I mean, it's still Orange County, but it's North Orange County, and I grew up in South Orange County. So the difference is that like most of the diversity of Orange County is in the north part.
Which is where Fullerton is?
Fullerton, Santa Ana, Anaheim. So it's like
Disneyland.
That part. Yeah.
Berry Farm.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not that there isn't any diversity in Orange County, it's just in a very specific spot. And I think it's changed now, but at the time it was very like, you know, you were either 714 or 949, which is like area codes. And so whenever I give my number to someone and they know 949, it's like instantly a thing. It's like, oh, you're from South Orange County. I'm like, yes, I am.
That's awful. I love that though.
It comes with like some expectation and some baggage, in the sense that like people just, you know, expect you to be a certain way, especially if you're white.
If you're from South Orange County. Yeah. So what does that mean though? You're it's like blonde hair, blue eyed?
No, it's just that you probably went to like good schools. You probably grew up.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, you probably grew up around money.
Not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just that there's.
And like what if you're from North? It's like a little hood.
I wouldn't say it's hood, but it's just more. It's more like, you know, not as different from LA. You know, it's still Orange County, but it's like you're a little bit more considered.
Hood.
Not hood. I wouldn't call it hood.
So what would you call it then?
Just like normal, I would say.
I see. I get.
You have to understand too, like
we're not like 1%ers around.
Right.
Here. Okay, I got you.
Exactly.
I got you.
And like I grew up in Orange County during when those shows, all those like reality shows, when the OC
Real
first.
Housewives of Orange County and Coto de Casa.
Yeah.
Iconic show, by the way. That's like my favorite season of that show.
And I like went to school.
Where is Coto de Casa?
That's where I grew up.
Is that? What do you mean that's where you grew up?
I didn't necessarily grow up in Coto de Casa, but my neighborhood was right outside of it, and it's just in like the boonies of Orange County, like.
But like the rich boonies.
It was rich at the time. It's not like that great anymore. Like I would say that there's definitely better parts to Orange County, but at the time Coto de Caza was like the biggest gated community in South Orange County.
But like you have to have money to live in a gated community though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like, but I mean like across the board, that's not just Orange County.
Yeah.
It's like anywhere that has a gate, like whenever you hear gated community, those are pricey homes.
Yeah, but I think when my parents bought their house, it wasn't that they were like doing so well. It's just that that's what they could afford, because it was okay. So it was like it's really far inland. It's like 5 minutes from the freeway, and so people didn't necessarily want to move out there because it was so far from like jobs. So my parents had to commute. Like they both had like long commutes to be able to live at that house.
Got it.
So it wasn't necessarily that expensive when we first got there, which was like 1997. And then once so like the gated community aspect of it was like a selling point, but it wasn't like that big of a deal. And then they made it into a huge deal like for the purpose of that show as a marketing gimmick. And then all of a sudden,
people moved in there,
all of a sudden it's like,
all
of a sudden it's like the property values of the area went up, and we're just kind of like, cool.
Well, that's like Calabasas now.
Yeah.
Which is like, by the way, I would never live in Calabasas. It's far as hell.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, my parents just bought at the right time. They didn't necessarily know what it was going to turn into, and yeah,
but
once
like,
all
great
those
investment.
shows, once all those shows started bringing attention to that area, it just became like this thing.
This phenomenon of Coto de Caza, because I had never heard of Coto de Caza.
Yeah. So.
But look, nice houses though.
Nice houses. I like to drive around there around Christmas.
Oh,
I don't have any.
People with money have the great Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Halloween too.
Yeah, and I used to be on like my friends list, and even if I wasn't visiting her.
Your friends list, what does that mean? Like a guest list at the gate?
Yeah, guest list at the gate. She doesn't live there anymore, but I would just like drive through even if I wasn't visiting her, just to see like the Christmas lights and stuff like that. But there's other ways to get into that neighborhood if you really want to, but I'm not going to disclose that.
Oh, she's a fence jumper. Okay, well, I grew up in LA.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Culver City. My parents still live in Culver City to this day in the house that I grew up in. Oldest sister lives in Inglewood. Deanna, middle sister, actually just bought a house in Westchester, which she has already texted me that I need to help her decorate, so I have to help her find a bed today. How exciting is that? And yeah, I mean, Culver City was very, very normal. I have to. I don't know how to describe it, but it was a very normal upbringing. It felt very small town, which is crazy because it's not. But growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, it felt like a small city. Not even a small city, a small town. And what's funny is when people tell me, like, I grew up in the suburbs, I'm like, I did too, but I didn't. They're like, no, you grew up in Culver City. I'm like, but it felt like a suburb. Very small town. A lot of us there's 5 elementary schools in Culver City, which filter into the middle school, into the one middle school, Culver City Middle School, which filter into the one high school, Culver City High School. And so a lot of the people you went to elementary school with, you went to middle school with, you went to high school with, and then in college, depending on where you went, a lot of us stopped being friends because we went all over the country, or internationally too. But there wasn't a lot to do in Culver City. I say this all the time. Now, what Culver City has become is wild. There's an arts district, there's the Culver City Stairs, there's a Sephora and a Phil's Coffee in downtown Culver City. There's the platform, there's the Canopy Club, and like the Shade Hotel. None of that was there. Mm-hmm. We had the Mann Theater, which old school, like not even the elevated seats. It's all one level, or like the tiniest little graduation of height. You'd have to go to the ticket window and buy the tickets from the person with like the little microphone, and you'd go in and you'd watch your movie, but like that was it. We had Coco's, which is no longer gone, RIP, love Coco's. The Fox Hills Mall is still there, my favorite mall in the world. I grew up going there, love it. The West Side Pavilion, no longer there, really sad. The Howard Hughes Center, which has changed a lot from when it first opened. But there wasn't a lot to do, so you had to find ways to keep yourself entertained. So for me and my family, it was sports, a lot of sports. But then once I got tired of sports, it was a lot of partying.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like a fun life.
It was fun. It was, looking back, I appreciate it more now. But there wasn't a lot to do. And Culver City now, like, it's funny because I'm like, I wish I lived here now. I don't. I live close to work, but if there's so much to do, you can keep yourself busy all hours of the day.
Yeah.
I just don't live there anymore.
Yeah, I was working in Culver City for a little while, and like I was there as they were starting to build all that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially that downtown area.
Yes.
I mean, it was already kind of nice, but they just blew it up to like a degree. I don't know. It was just,
it's really transformed.
Yeah, and I went there, I want to say, I don't know, 4 months ago, and it was completely different than I remembered it. And it wasn't that long ago that I worked in Culver.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for Culver.
Good for Culver City. we really put Culver on the map, the heart of Screenland. Well, because it's where Sony Studios is.
Yeah.
And that was like the big thing. I remember wanting to work at Sony Studios so bad.
I still do.
I don't. It's fine in there.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I mean, where you work now, I'm sure it's not a big deal, but.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like any entertainment field at this point is like desirable at this point, but that's not the point of that.
Right. So I went to the F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix. I was in Vegas for 7 days. It nearly killed me. It was my first F1 race, and I gotta tell you, they're a lot of fun, but chaos.
I mean...
And running around the Paddock Club and being surrounded by the richest and wealthiest people in the world was quite an experience.
Yeah. I can imagine, because it's just... And there was a couple of reports about that too, like how people were complaining that, or the people that work in Vegas were complaining about how inconvenient this whole F1 thing was making it for them, but the money that they were able to make off
like $1.1 billion in a weekend.
Yeah, the amount of money that went through like Vegas's economy was like
taxes
something
and salaries and all that. Yeah.
They've never experienced before. And this, that's with like the Raiders being there and football being a thing.
And they're building
there.
a baseball stadium.
Are they now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I forget, they bought a team. I'm pretty sure it's an East Coast team, but Vegas is having a baseball team now.
I mean, good for them. But I
Vegas, the new Culver City.
Yeah.
There you go.
All these places blowing up.
But yeah, it was fun. It was hectic. It almost killed me. I was very happy to come home, for sure. If you want it just a rich person's first world problem, I was on a jet back from Vegas to Burbank. And because every rich person and their jet was in Vegas, our flight was delayed 6 hours. And I was stuck on the jet for 4 hours trying to keep my composure with everybody else that was stuck on the jet with me. But after 7 days and many tequila sodas and many shots of tequila, I mean, I was ready to come home.
Yeah.
And it was it was like, it made so much sense. I was like, yeah, this would happen after everything I've been through. And then to be stuck on the jet, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a weird problem to have. But jets are not, like, they're like little tin can things,
Yeah, so commercial flights got priority to take off.
Sense.
And so we were in a really long line to take off on the jet. And everybody was delayed. Yeah. I know, I sound like, oh, boo-hoo, but it was really annoying, okay? It was, I wanted to get fucking home.
I went to Vegas too, but only for like...
Oh, that's right, you were like right there before me. Oh,
right
that's
after.
right, oh, right after.
Yeah, I went for my cousin's wedding. He had a Vegas wedding, and...
You could get married on the track, by the way, sorry.
Really?
I don't want to interrupt. Yeah.
That's weird.
I think this camera's dying, or it's dead.
Okay. Well, let's finish this.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It was more of a family trip, but I walked the strip for like an hour and I was over it. I'm not a Vegas person. I never have been.
I love Vegas.
But it's fine.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a good time. It was good to like be around family and have home. We rented an Airbnb and we all
I love that.
We were all like, there was like 17 of us in one house, and so.
Oh, you guys are nuts. It's like Home Alone, but when they go on that trip.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. Like, for being as introverted as I am, I think a lot of it has to do with just being around like a lot of people.
Sensory overload.
Yeah. So, but it was fun. But we had very different Vegas trips.
Yeah. I have to go again next year.
Oh, fun.
I have to go.
Oh, you have to.
So if somebody else wants to take my place, let me know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, with that, that's the end of episode 2.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.